Hey, all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly value, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey there, my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel. I'm your hostess, femininity coach, and author of The Crimson Cure, and this is my perspective. So we've got a hair-hatted chicken head that decided that she didn't like it. Remember a couple of years ago when the trend online was black men in suits and things of that nature? She didn't like that. And so now there's a current trend of young black men that's trading in their little YN outfits, the shiesties and the the hoodies and all of that type of stuff, and saying they're wearing quarter zips and going to get matcha teas. So this is what this hairhead had to say, all while wearing a white woman's wig.
Woke, but I don't find the quarter zip shit funny because I also didn't find it funny a couple years ago when all those black men put on suits and then stood around in suits. I don't understand what men in general, but especially black men's obsession is with defining themselves by their clothing and not really actively doing any. It's not deeper than just like, well, we can put on suits. I can also put on a suit. What is the point that you're trying to make here? Like, it's like costume. Like, let's dress up as the social idea of success or productivity or decent, productive human being. I don't know. I don't even understand what y'all are trying to communicate to us. Y'all are constantly like essentially dressing up as white men. Like, that's kind of the underlying idea. Suits, quarter zips, like associating yourself with this like stereotypically white style. Like, maybe I'm too woke, but hello? Do y'all not see how that's, one, offensive to you as a black person, upholds white supremacy, but is also reductive of your like humanness? I don't know. It's like everything all the time with them. Nothing latches.
So this one actually had a couple of different layers to it, because she brought up a lot of nonsense is what she was talking about. How is it that you weren't on TikTok saying nothing about shiesties? You wasn't on TikTok saying nothing about hoodies and them slides and sagging their pants and all of this other stuff that young black men on social media have been represented as the so-called YN, which is supposed to be representative of all of the negative elements of young black men in their teens and in their 20s. Okay, so you with your hair hat, you ain't upholding white supremacy and the white concept of beauty. I guess that's not what you're doing with your skimpy hair hat. But somehow you got a problem with black men, and especially young black men, at least having the concept of, if we change our outward appearance, then that actually has a lot to do with how you feel, how you perceive yourself, and how other people and society at large perceives you. But we're talking about a hair hat. We're talking about a hyena. And hyenas are notorious for having bad appearance value. So these hyenas don't know anything about doing things that give you a positive public perception versus a negative public perception. And that if you want the public in general to have a good perception of you in general as a body of women, then you might actually need to change the way that you physically present. But y'all run around here, you twerk. See, you're the one that's delusional, because y'all run around here twerking. Y'all run around here copying the LGBT community in terms of like the looks and the makeup looks and all of these other different things. You don't think that We know that y'all are close in proximity, so a lot of things cross over from the LGBT to the hyena community. Y'all run around on social media doing a bunch of foolishness, and then at the same time, you'll open your mouth to want to, cry and whine about the bad image of the Black woman, when you yourself perpetuate a lot of what the stereotype and the imagery actually is. And even if you're not specifically the one doing it, you support it. You support it with your likes, clicks, views, comments, and all of that type of stuff. So the young Black men have decided that, you know what, let's change our public perception, because every young Black man is not some type of YN, quote unquote, that's looking to try to be gangster and that's looking to try to rob somebody or up to no good. There are many of us as young Black men who are in school. We make good grades. We're productive. We're smart. So why can't our aesthetic reflect what we are? Why, in order to be accepted into the Black community, because that's the other part of the conversation, right? To be accepted in the Black community as a man by a hyena. And I'm going to show you the difference between a hyena and a lioness. Because it's only the hyenas that don't want to accept Black men unless they have this gangster persona that might not even fit them. Every Black man is not into, this gangster hip hop or into trying to shoot somebody. Every young Black man don't think he got ops, and all of this other stuff. There are so many young Black men that are highly productive, highly intelligent, and have never had a Glock in their life. That they don't run the street. They're not in the street. They got regular friendships with other young men they age, and they do regular stuff. It's a lot of young Black boys that do not hit the street. They be in their room playing Call of Duty with their friends or with their little online group, and they'll spend the next 10 hours doing that rather than going outside trying to, they're not outside trying to rob nobody or carjack nobody or shoot the block or none of that. That's actually a minority. So when we have improvement in any phase, see, the boys have an opportunity to get an understanding about perception and appearance. Many times perception is reality. And since hyenas don't know nothing about that, they think it's weird. They always think somebody weird. They think the Black boys are weird that don't want to be gangsters, the same way they think other Black women are weird when they don't want to be hyenas. So the problem is the hyena, not everybody else. The problem is not the Black men who a couple of years ago put their suits on to at least try to show, not even to show white people. It had nothing to do with white people. To show other Black men that we don't have to do this gangster thing. Like, if you ain't no gangster, that's perfectly fine. Nobody has got to be a gangster. Let the street dudes be street dudes. If we're not street dudes, that's perfectly fine. But just because you're not a street dude don't mean you're not a man. And wearing a suit and comporting yourself properly, speaking proper English, carrying yourself with your back straight and your head up and your pants pulled up, that is not emasculating. That doesn't say anything about you being weak or soft or none of that. That's hood thinking. That's the boneyard thinking. That all the men have to have this, all the Black men have to have this certain quote unquote aesthetic and quote unquote swag and all this kind of stuff in order to be accepted as masculine and accepted as men. So this doesn't have anything to do with white men. You're stuck on white people with that hair you got in your head. You immediately thought about the approval of white people and proximity to whiteness as it pertains to having a better image. So is that what y'all hyenas think? That if you carry yourselves as feminine women, then you're going to be what? Carrying yourselves as white women, quote unquote? No, y'all think that if you carry yourselves as feminine women and women that have sense and women that have class, that you are somehow weak women. And this is pervasive in the boneyard, whether we're talking about female hyenas or male hyenas, because there's a lot of hyena males who also think similarly. They think that feminine women are soft and weak, and they think that men who aren't in the streets are soft and weak. And they have attached this kind of foolishment to Black culture, like you lose your Black card when you don't act a fool. And that could not be further from the truth. Ain't nobody losing a Black card because they don't want to act a fool. Because we're taking it back, because acting a fool is not synonymous with being Black. So we done with that narrative. Acting a fool is not synonymous with being Black. We're done with that. We're officially done with that. So now that we saw a stupid hyena say the stupidest stuff, get on TikTok and say anything on these apps, now we're going to hear some Black women with a positive word.
One thing every Black man should know today.
Every Black man should know that they are worthy of love, respect, and also that God is with them.
All right, what's one thing every Black man should know today?
That they are awesome and they are capable and they are powerful.
What's one thing every Black man should know today?
That you are loved, that you are powerful, and that when no one else loves you, we love you.
Wow, what's one thing every Black man should know? That you have a lot of impact. I think as a Black community, sometimes we don't realize the type of impact that we have on the world.
They deserve to be protected.
What's one thing every Black man should know today?
Oh my God, how beautiful and amazing they are inside and out, how powerful they are, how above the rest they are, how God made no mistake whatsoever with them. They lead, and I need them to remember that. Keep leading, Black men. I love you.
That you all really are loved, and we greatly appreciate you all.
How worthy they are to be here.
Yeah.
That they have power. That they are strength. They are the core and the backbone of this society, of our families, and they should never forget that. That they're valued, that we love them, they're important to our society.
What's one thing every Black man should know today?
Every Black man should know that they are.
And finally, we're going to take a look at this. Now we have Black women, and the sign that they're holding up, it says, "Make modesty beautiful again. Fashion needs a reform, not a conform." And we've got two Black women dressed modestly in an attempt to promote modesty.
We agree. Yes, yes.
And I wanted to leave off on those notes that the young men are deciding we don't want to have the aesthetic of YNs. And I do believe that these particular Black women are in the UK, but still, because feminism has run rampant there as well, it's pretty much a similar societal thing in the UK as it is in America. So long as some Black women somewhere are not twerking and showing their butts and saying, no, we are going to be modest, we're going to bring that back, some class. And I wanted to also leave it on the note with all of the Black women. I think that the Black women who were speaking positively on the men was like in Houston, I do believe. So we're going to start celebrating these things. Jump down in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Once again, I'm your hostess, The Crimson Cure, and this was my perspective. Bye-bye, Crimsonites.